Welcome to another sermon from the Lewes Church of Christ. And now, here's Adam.
Fun matters. We're in the series Playing for Keeps, where we're trying to make the most of our time, and we're learning to number our days that we might gain a heart of wisdom, especially as it pertains to the next generation of Christ followers. We want to make the most of our time and invest in them over time. A couple of weeks ago, I was preparing for this month's series, and I read a verse that hit me harder this one particular time than maybe ever before. And it's probably a familiar verse to many of you. It's Nehemiah chapter 8, verse 10, and it simply says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." The joy of the Lord is your strength. And after reading that verse, it struck me that maybe I'm not as strong as I think I am. And I started reflecting on that and thinking, is the joy of the Lord where I find my strength? Is the joy of the Lord what makes my family strong? And then it struck me that maybe if I shared that, there might be other people in here going, is that true for me? That maybe we're a little bit weaker than we might think. And then it really struck me that, hey, I get to preach the whole next month. Let's talk about it. So that's what we're going to do. Today, I want us to really focus on and emphasize the playing part of our Playing for Keeps sermon series. I really want us to play for keeps, and when I say that, I mean it quite literally. When I say play for keeps this morning, I mean playing ball, playing cards, PlayStation, Play-Doh, playground, playroom. Like, let's play hide and seek. Seriously, I want to really play, because play and joy go together, don't they? Play and joy go together, and it fits in this series because when I see play, I think fun. And the coolest part is, one of the best ways and most effective ways you can stay connected and grow your relationships with kids is to have fun with them. Fun? Yeah, fun. If it's entertaining, if it generates laughter, if it helps you enjoy life more and it's not dangerous or sinful, it's fun. And it should be had by all of us, right? If you want to play for keeps, you have to act like fun matters. Because it does. Especially to kids. Fun is their measuring stick. If something's not fun, they're not going to want to be there very long. And you know that, right? And the truth is, we are all created with like a fun drive. It's in our DNA to have fun. And not just us as people. You ever see a dolphin play? You ever watch a squirrel? Right? Monkeys, dogs love to play. Past week I searched funny dogs on YouTube and came back with over 9 million videos. Because dogs love to have fun. And it's evidently, fun matters so much to God that He decided to illustrate that through all of nature. Almost to remind us that we need to have fun. We need to play. You and I and our kids, we're made to have fun. But you know what happens? You know what happens to the average adult? At some point, we grow out of fun. We grow out of fun. Do you know how many times the average child smiles every day? Just a guess. 400 times. Average child smiles 400 times a day. You know how many times the average adult smiles every day? 20. Yeah, Boo is right. 20 times? Seriously? Wow. Some of us adults have a serious problem. Better said, some of us adults have a problem being too serious. Just this past week, my kids were watching He-Man. You know He-Man, right? Some of you don't know He-Man, really? I had a lot. You need to go on Amazon and get you some seasons, man. He-Man, I'm not going to preach a whole sermon on it, but another significant gift you can give to children over time is a delight with classic, wonderful cartoons. And He-Man is one of those cartoons I grew up with. Prince Adam, maybe that's why I like him. Prince Adam is He-Man's secret identity. He's a master of the universe, come on. So Prince Adam, in this episode, it struck me, he was supposed to be learning survival skills with his captain. And he never showed up. And I'm listening, they're watching the car, I'm listening to this unfold, and I'm going, man, this works. The kids couldn't understand why I kept pausing it and typing on my phone and then rewinding it and typing on my phone because I wanted to get it right. So his captain shows up and she says, where were you? Why weren't you there? And this is what Adam says. Look, I know I have a lot to learn, but can't we just have some fun once in a while? And this is the adult response. In a cartoon, 1984. Fun? Adam, you can't waste your life just fooling around. There are too many important things to do. That's 1984. Have you heard that? Now? Right? There are too many important things to do, and there are so many important things that we should be doing. I want to encourage you to help us understand that having fun is one of them. Having fun is important. Really important. We need to... I'm sorry. In my notes, I spelled we with 2 E's, and it didn't, underline it. Apparently, that's a real word, and there's no, red line, so I just went through it. That's awesome. We need a fun adjustment, right? We need to laugh a little more. We need to dance a little longer. We need to play a little harder. If you want kids and teens to show up and be around more, if you want to build deeper relationships and stronger connections, you need to have a little more fun. Fun matters. It certainly seems to matter to God. It's something that he took so seriously that, now, of course there are times we need to be serious and be still and be focused, and of course. But oftentimes in the Bible, when God's talking about how we need to focus on our relationship with Him, He uses words like sing and dance and celebrate and eat and be joyful. It's almost as if God wants us to think of our relation with Him on some level like a party, like we're getting together to enjoy Him and enjoy life that He's given us. Now, the word fun, at least in the NIV that I use, isn't in the Bible, but all of its closest relatives are. Listen to some of these things that God says. Psalm 68:3, may the righteous be glad. Philippians 4, you probably know this, it says, rejoice in the Lord always. I will say it again because it's so important, rejoice. Ecclesiastes 3, there is a time to mourn. There's also a time to dance. Exodus 12, celebrate it as a festival to the Lord. You know, God ordained 7 major festivals that happen every year for at least a week at a time just to celebrate what He's done and who He is and how good He is and to be His people. God's serious about celebrating being His. How about Proverbs 17:22? A cheerful heart is good medicine. Psalm 100, worship the Lord with gladness. Galatians 5 talks about the fruit that the Holy Spirit in our lives bears, right? The Holy Spirit in us bears love, and what's the second one? Joy. Joy. In Acts 2, all the people are meeting together with glad and sincere hearts. Leviticus 25 talks about this thing called the year of Jubilee. That's a cool word. We need to use that one more. It's where we get the word jubilation. It's fun. And if you don't know about the year of Jubilee, you need to look it up because it's unbelievable. Every 50 years there was this year-long celebration where everything was redeemed. Everything that had been sold was given back. Every debt was canceled. I think we ought to celebrate this and do this here. A year of jubilation. A year of jubilee. A year of celebrating, just celebrating God. I love Ecclesiastes 11, verse 8. However many years a man may live, let him enjoy them all. We're created and we're told by God to enjoy ourselves. These aren't my words, these are God's words. To enjoy ourselves, to enjoy one another, and to enjoy everything else God has made. That's what He did. You know, in Genesis, during creation, 6 days He created the entire universe. On the 7th day, He rested. I hope you understand that that's not God's exhausted and He needs to take a nap. God doesn't need to take a nap, right? He simply pressed pause and looked back and just enjoyed what He made. Remember, it was very good. And I'm just thinking that maybe we ought to do the same thing. Sometimes we need to press pause. Sometimes we need to stop working our routines and our busy agendas long enough to enjoy what the Lord and what He has made. You know, in ordaining the Sabbath as a day that's holy, He literally said that 1/7 of our life should be on pause. You know that, right? To just enjoy. Fun matters. Even scientific research supports this idea. After 30 years of research, scientist Stuart Brown concludes this: the opposite of play is what? Not work. The opposite of play, he says, is depression. It's crucial neurologically for kids and adults to keep playing. Play holds the key to emotional and to relational health. And when you play with kids and teens on their terms, you're entering into their world. You have an idea how important that is? How valuable and vital that is? You see, when you enter in the world, so play opens doors for deeper relationships. So never say that fun, that fun is a waste of time. We're made to have fun and have it together. Fun matters. And here's what's really cool. As we've been learning each week, time spent over time and love over time and words over time. When you put fun over time, it does some incredible things in the lives of young people. Fun over time actually convinces kids that you like them. We're really good at saying, I love you. But sometimes I wonder if kids are going, yeah, but do you like me? Like, you don't ever want to hang out. You don't want to spend time. You don't want to ever get to know me. And fun over time convinces children and teenagers that you like them. It also breaks down walls, damaged relationships. Fun over time can repair those and can rebuild trust. Fun, when we have fun over time, it empowers kids to be resilient. Life is hard. You probably know that, right? Life is hard. And when kids have this bank of, my mother-in-law likes to say, we're making memories. Have this bank of fun, good memories to fall back on. It's for them to realize that life will go on and life together, loving together, laughing together, doing life and being joyful together. Empowers us to, and when life gets hard and the hurt, which will always at some point comes, we can be strong under that. Because we know that there's fun and good and life after these things that will undoubtedly come. And one of my favorite things is fun over time proves forgiveness. You ever try to have fun with somebody you haven't forgiven yet? You're still holding a grudge over? You're still offended or hurt by them? You can't. Yeah, let's go play. See, I'll play hide and seek. You're it. That doesn't really work, does it? Okay, you're saying one thing, but you're saying something totally different. You can't. It proves forgiveness. Maybe that's why in Romans 12, Paul writes, show mercy cheerfully. It's the only way to do it. Fun over time matters to take relationships deeper. And so how do we jumpstart that this week? How can we make what we do this week fun? Because not all of life is fun. I mean, it's just not. We can't make everything fun, but you do have this incredible opportunity to make something every week fun. And something next week fun, and something the following week fun, and build in this idea that we do life and it's fun. So here's the best way to get started. Don't get mad at me. Loosen up. I said it. There it is. It's out there. It's on the screen even. Great. Loosen up. You have an opportunity this week to show kids and teenagers that you care more about them than you care about what other people think about you. And that's important. That's really important. You show them you care when you allow yourself to be vulnerable. You allow yourself to let loose and just have fun. So loosen up. Here's a couple ways, 3 ways to loosen up. The first one is, would you move more? Maybe one of the reasons adults play less is because we spend so much time sitting still. And here's the incredible way that God created us. This is incredible. He created our bodies and our brains in such a way that science has proved that jumping literally activates our brains and our bodies and makes us feel better. So maybe what you just need to do is just add in some random jumping as you're going places and just, you're walking along and just, hey, what's going on? Just FYI, spouses, if that's happening, please video it and send it to me, adam@lccnow.com. I'll make sure it gets up here in front of everybody. I'm just kidding. I won't do that. Do it. Move a little more. Dance a little more. If you've got young people in your house, especially girls, would you dance, please? Nobody's looking in your windows. Dance revolution, man. It's got to happen. You got to move. Go for a bike ride. Have wrestle time in the living room. Now, it's wrestle time. We call it that, but it's tickle time, and we have 2 rules. I'm not going to share the first one because it's a guy rule. You can figure that one out. But the second one is we don't tickle Dad. And it's not because I don't like being tickled. It's because I'm very ticklish, and just spontaneous bows start throwing and people bleed, and so we don't do that. But you can, schedule some kind of wrestle time in your house. Jump on the bed. Jump on the bed when Mom's not home, and if you're We don't jump on the bed in my house because there will be catastrophic evidence that I jumped on the bed, and we'll be shopping, and it's expensive. Have a catch. Go out and jump in the waves. Climb a tree. Be a kid. Move a little more. Second thing, and we're doing it, is to loosen up by laughing more. Laugh more. You know, laughing is a universal language. Everybody knows what's going on when someone is laughing. When someone's laughing, it means that somebody is doing what? Having fun. They're having fun. When you laugh together, it means you enjoy being together. Some experts actually say that laughing is the quickest and most effective way to connect. When you can laugh together. The last one, and maybe this is the most obvious this morning, would be to play more. Just play. Act like a kid. It's really healthy. And it doesn't always come naturally. And so what I would suggest to you is, would you schedule it in? Make a time where you play. Make a clear trip. You come home from work, put on play clothes. Set a timer for an hour. No phone calls, no making dinner. You can eat it later or go out. Ice cream. It's fun. 100% of your attention is set aside to play. One last thing about loosening up is that doesn't always come natural. Sometimes you're going to come home and you're tired and you're frustrated or you're stressed, and the last thing on your mind is playing or laughing or moving. But fun doesn't have to be a feeling. In fact, when you choose to have fun and loosen up in spite of your feelings, you may end up actually feeling a lot more fun than you thought. Loosen up. Move more. Laugh more. Play more. I want you to be a kid again on some level, especially with kids. Maybe you've seen the movie Hook. You've seen the movie Hook? It's a great movie. Robin Williams plays the part of Peter Pan. And not the adventurous, daring, happy Peter Pan you think of. But he plays Peter Pan, who is an adult, and he's preoccupied with adult issues. He's a dad with kids, but he's forgotten how to be a kid. And in one of the early scenes in this movie, Hook, Peter snaps at his children. They're playing, they're being loud. He's on this important business phone call. It's gonna, this big deal. And he snaps at them, and they get real quiet, and they leave the room. And his phone starts ringing again. And while his wife picks up his phone and tosses it out the window, she says something that just is so powerful, and it really fits with what we're talking about. Listen to what she says. She says to Peter, "Your children love you. They want to play with you. How long do you think that lasts? Soon Jack may not even want you to come to his games. We have a few special years with our children when they're the ones that want us around. After that, you're going to be running after them for a bit of attention. It's so fast, Peter. It's a few years and it's over, and you're not being careful, and you're missing it." A lot of truth to that, isn't it? Shortly after this scene, you'll remember if you've seen the movie, Captain Hook comes in and steals Peter's kids and takes them to Neverland. And it takes Peter losing his kids to Captain Hook to realize how important fun is and how important fun is to them. Peter's grown up and he's forgotten how to play. And you may say, well, that's Peter Pan. It's a fairy tale. Is it? Is it just a fairy tale? My conclusion watching that, if it can happen to Peter Pan, it can happen to anybody. But listen to what Jesus says. John chapter 10 and verse 10. The thief, and I'm not talking about Captain Hook, the thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. Jesus says, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. Mom and Dad, you need to memorize this verse. You need to write it, burn it on your hearts. We have an enemy who wants nothing more than to steal your kids. He wants nothing more than to kill the joy in your lives. Our enemy wants nothing more than to destroy your family. But Jesus came not just to give life, but to give life to the full. That word literally means having more than enough life. Like exceeding abundant life, more life than is actually necessary. And that life has to include joy because the joy of the Lord is our strength. And you know what abundant joy is? We don't call it abundant joy usually. You know what we call it? Fun. We call it fun. And there's no greater joy, there's no greater fun that you can provide for your children than to show them and lead them to a life with Jesus Christ. Don't wait. Don't miss it. Don't lose your kids. Don't prioritize all the important things that need to be done over your relationship with them. Make the most of this week. Because what you do this week to make it fun for a young person matters. It will deepen relationships and strengthen connections for all time.
This has been a presentation of the Lewes Church of Christ. We are located at 15183 Coastal Highway, Milton, Delaware, 3 miles north of Lewes on Highway 1. Our service times are 9 a.m. and 11 a.m. every Sunday morning.